Let's discuss some tangent properties, right? So first thing, beta, what is a tangent? We need to understand the definition of a tangent, right? So a tangent is a straight line that touches the curve at one point and passes. It does not intersect the curve. It does not cut the curve. For example, beta, let's say you have a curve, right? For example, you have a curve and there is a straight line which just touches the curve at one point and passes, right? So this line which is touching the curve at this point, let's say, right? So we can label this point, let's say A. So this line we would call as a tangent to the curve because this is just touching the curve at one point and passing. Clarity, beta? Got it? So a line that cuts the curve, beta, this is not a tangent. This line is not a tangent line, right? For a line to be tangent, it just has to touch the curve at one point and pass. ठीक है बेटा? A line that cuts the curve or intersects the curve, that line is not a tangent line. Clarity, beta? So let's discuss few properties, beta. So property number one. Very interesting one. So property number one, beta. So let's say you have a circle. ठीक? Let's say you have a circle. And beta, you have a tangent line. For example, we can draw this tangent line here. So it's touching the circle at this point. Let's say point A, right? Clarity, beta? This straight line is a tangent and it is touching the curve. It is touching the circle at this point A. Let's say center of the circle is marked, right? So beta, this point A is called the point of contact of the circle and the tangent, right? So this is also known as point of tangency. Point of tangency, right, beta? So if the radius is drawn at the point of contact between the tangent and the circle, or you can say at the point of tangency, right? If radius is drawn, obviously radius is drawn from the center of the circle to the point of tangency, beta, please remember that radius always makes an angle of 90 degree with the tangent. Radius always makes an angle of 90 degree with the tangent. Obviously on both sides, right? Clarity, beta? So once again, property number one, if you want to write this, beta, we can just write it in simple terms. Okay. So radius, beta, likh lo zara, makes an angle of 90 degree. Makes an angle of 90 degree with the tangent, right? At the point of contact, right? So radius makes an angle of 90 degrees with the tangent at the point of contact, or you can say at the point of tangency. एक ही बात है बेटा. Clarity? So this is property number one. Very simple, very straightforward, right? Let's say there is a tangent drawn here, beta, right? So this is a tangent line. Let's say point of contact is point B, right? It is touching the circle at one point in passing. Yes, this is again a tangent line. So if a radius is drawn, obviously from the center of the circle to the point of contact, right, beta? Sorry, to the point of contact, right? A radius is drawn from the center of the circle to the point of contact. So beta, radius always makes an angle of 90 degree with the tangent. Radius makes an angle of 90 degree with the tangent at the point of contact, at the point of tangency, you can say. Clarity, beta? Property number one, very simple one. ठीक? Okay, let's take a look at property number two. Property number two. Once again, a very interesting property. ठीक? Let's draw a circle. Right, beta? Let's say you take an external point outside the circle. ठीक? Let's say we take this external point, X, and you draw a tangent on one side of the circle. Right, beta? And you draw another tangent on the other side of the circle. Right? So the point of contacts of the circle and the tangent, let's say this is point A, and the other point of contact, let's say this is point B. So beta, we can clearly see these are the two tangents drawn from some external point outside the circle on the circle, right? Clarity beta? So beta, please remember that the two tangents drawn from the external point till the point of contact, they are equal in length. Right? So this makes an isosceles triangle. If, for example, AB, you can join this with an imaginary chord, a straight line, as we have been discussing this beta in the previous video as well. So if you join AB with an imaginary chord or with a straight line, so AXB is a triangle, right? So this makes this triangle an isosceles triangle. Okay? Isosceles triangle. Remember that. Then you'll apply the properties of an isosceles triangle. Clarity? Because we have to evaluate, we have to find angles, right? So once again, okay, let's write this property down, beta. From any point, right, outside, from any point outside a circle, just two tangents to the circle, CIRCLE, may be drawn and they are equal in length. चलो मैंने जरा elaborate कर दिया, right? So beta, in simple words, if you draw two tangents from some external point, right, on the circle, so beta, the length, right, the length of the two tangents from the external point to the point of contact, beta, that is equal. This means beta, XA is equal to XB, right? XA is equal to XB. The length of the two tangents till the point of contact, beta, it is equal. So this makes this triangle an isosceles triangle. Beta, please remember that. Clarity? ठीक हो गया beta? So this was all about property number 2, right? From any point outside a circle, just two tangents to the circle may be drawn and they are equal in length. This is important. I hope this is absolutely clear. Right, beta? Let's take a look at property number 3. Property number 3. Right, beta? Okay, ji. So what is the third property? Again, it's a very interesting one, beta. Let's make a circle, right? And because we are discussing the properties of tangent, so beta, let's draw a tangent. Let's say this line is a tangent and the point of contact is, let's say, this point, point A. Right, beta? ठीक हो गया? Okay. So at the point of contact, right, I draw a chord inside the circle, right? So basically, now this is not the radius, remember that. This property is basically, it revolves around the point of contact of the chord, right beta, and the tangent, right? ठीक है, इसको जरा ध्यान से आपने understand करना है, right? So property number 3 is what? The point of contact of a chord, and chord is a straight line. Beta, we have already discussed that in the previous video in detail, right? So a chord is a straight line that touches the both ends, which has both ends on the circumference, right? And it does not pass through the center of the circle. Otherwise, that line would be a diameter, right? So any line that touches both ends of a circle, right, and not passing through the center is called a chord. So beta, we have a chord. ठीक है, ये chord की property, remember that, with the tangent at the point of contact. ठीक है. So beta, now if an angle emerges from this chord on in the opposite segment, right? This is the major segment, we know that, major segment, and obviously ये जो बेटा मैंने angle shade किया है, this segment is the minor segment, right? We know कि chord divides the circle into two segments, the major segment and the minor segment, right? So what is this property, beta? right? So from the endpoints of the chord, if there is an angle, right? If there is an angle which emerges from the endpoints of this chord on the other side of the circle, in the alternate segment, in the other segment, right, beta? So the angle which the chord makes with the tangent, let's say this is x degrees, complete angle, the chord with the tangent, right? So this angle would be equal to the angle which this chord subtends, right, in the opposite segment. So this angle would also be x. Clarity, beta? Let's say from the same chord, I extend an angle here, right? So the other end point of the chord is this. So let's say I subtend an angle here. So because the angle is subtended by the same chord, so the chord with the tangent, the angle is x, and the same chord, if it makes an angle in the opposite segment, beta, this angle would also be equal. This angle would also be equal to the angle which the chord makes with the tangent. Clarity, beta? I hope this is absolutely clear. Chalo, if you want to write this down, you can write this down. Chalo, likh lo zara. The angle between a tangent, very important, and its chord, right, beta, is equal to the angle in the alternate segment or in the opposite segment, right? Clarity, beta? ठीक हो गया? The angle between a tangent and its chord is equal to the angle in the alternate segment. Clarity, beta? I hope this is pretty simple, very easy. Let's take few questions. Okay, beta. Question number 1. ठीक है बेटा? Without practice, बेटा concepts में वो clarity नहीं आती. Okay जी, let's make a circle. ठीक है बेटा? चलो. So let's say this line is a tangent and the point of contact is this. ठीक? Let's call this point B. So ABC is a tangent and this is the center of the circle, right beta? You draw a radius to the point of contact and you join this point O with this point, right beta? So this makes it a triangle. Okay, so you have to find, this angle is labeled as 4A and this angle is labeled as small a. So you have to find the marked angles, right? You have to find the angles marked with letters. Chalo. Okay, beta. So again, property number 1, we have just discussed radius, right beta? Center to the circumference, radius. At the point of contact, or you can say at the point of tangency, point of contact is B. Radius makes an angle of 90 degree with the tangent. Beta, please remember that. You need to, remember these properties. You need to understand these properties. क्योंकि बेटा examiner आपको देगा नहीं. These are not given, right? ठीक है? चलो. So this should be on your fingertips. Very simple properties, right beta? So angle आपने mark कर लिया. Now it's very easy. बेटा अब basic properties नहीं भूलना. Interior angles का sum of any triangle is 180, right? So this is 90 plus 4A plus A is equal to 180. Clarity beta? So what is 4A plus A? This is 5A. और 90 इक्वेशन के उस तरफ जाके सब्ट्रैक्ट हो जाएगा, राइट? ठीक हो गया बेटा? क्लैरिटी? 90 जाके सब्ट्रैक्ट हो जाएगा. सो 5A इज व्हाट? दिस इज इक्वल टू 90 और A इज इक्वल टू व्हाट? दिस इज 90 over 5 which is 18 degrees. सो बेटा A की वैल्यू आपके पास आ गई 18 degrees. So simple. You just apply the property and beta again be focused that if a question of circles come, beta you should be really focused. Is there a tangent? So if there is a tangent, we have only these 3 properties. Clarity beta? The rest obviously basic properties to beta circles ki apply hongi. But if there is a tangent beta, then these 3 properties should be in your mind. Clarity? Okay. Question number 2. Zara dekhte. Let's take a look at another question. ठीक? चलो. Let's draw a circle. Right beta? And again, let's make a tangent. ठीक, जस्ट अ सेकेंड, थोड़ा सा इसको क्लोज कर लेते हैं. ओके, सो द पॉइंट ऑफ कॉन्टैक्ट लेट्स से इज दिस पॉइंट, राइट बेटा, पॉइंट ए. वी मेक अ सेंटर ऑफ द सर्कल. ठीक, अगेन वी मार्क द रेडियस at the with the point of contact. Clarity beta. And let's say we make a line here, ठीक, and we draw a chord. Clarity beta. So this angle is marked as 5e, right? So this angle is marked as, complete angle is marked as e, right? ठीक, or this angle is c. ठीक हो गया बेटा. सो दिस पॉइंट इज डी ए बी सी, यू कैन से, राइट. ओके, सो वी हैव टू फाइंड एंगल ई एंड एंगल सी. चलो अगेन बेटा, आई थिंक प्रॉपर्टी नंबर 1 वेरी सिंपल. ओ ए इज द रेडियस. क्लैरिटी बेटा, ठीक हो गया. सो रेडियस मेक्स एन एंगल ऑफ 90 डिग्री with the tangent at the point of contact, at the point of tangency. So ये एंगल 90 होगा जो मैंने मार्क किया है, राइट. सो दिस मीन्स 5e plus e is 90 degrees. क्लैरिटी बेटा. सो 6c is 90. तो एंगल e बेटा जरा मुझे बताओ व्हाट इज एंगल. हाँ जी बेटा, 15 डिग्रीज, राइट. ठीक हो गया, एंगल e is 15 degrees. ओके, नाउ वी हैव टू इवैल्यूएट c बेटा. तो बेटा अगेन रिमेंबर द बेसिक प्रॉपर्टीज बेटा. इफ द सेंटर इज मार्क्ड, लुक फॉर द रेडियस. सो OA is a radius and OD is also a radius, which makes this triangle an isosceles triangle, right? So equal sides के बेटा opposite angles they are equal, right? This angle and this angle are equal. So if this is 5e, what is this angle? This is also 5e. राइट बेटा, क्लैरिटी. एंड वी हैव गॉट द वैल्यू ऑफ ई, एंगल ई हमें मिल गया. सो जस्ट प्लग इन द वैल्यूज. सो बेटा इंटीरियर एंगल्स का सम इज 180. सो 5e प्लस 5e प्लस c इज इक्वल टू 180. इसमें कोई डाउट बेटा. एंड वी नो e इज 15. सो 5 into 15, राइट, प्लस 5 into 15, सिंपली प्लग इन द वैल्यूज, प्लस c इज इक्वल टू 180, राइट. ये जरा बेटा वैल्यूएट 180. So beta, this is 75 plus 75 is equal to plus c is equal to 180 beta, right? तो 75 plus 75 is 150. So ये बेटा उधर जाके माइनस हो जाएगा. So ये बेटा सब्ट्रैक्ट होके what is c? 30. Rest is basic simple work plus minus. But again beta, it's all about applying the basic properties. Okay beta, let's take a look at this question. Question number 3, right? So beta, we can see there are two tangents drawn from an external point, right? ठीक है बेटा. Let's say you label this point B, A, B, C. So A, B is a tangent and obviously BC is a tangent. And beta, we have already discussed this property, right? This was property number 2, that the two tangents drawn from some external point till the point of contact, they are equal in length. The two tangents till the point of contact, they are equal in length. So beta AB is equal to BC, right beta. इसमें कोई doubt किसी को, any ambiguity, any confusion, right? And if the two point of contacts beta, they are joined with a straight line, so AC is a chord, right beta. AC is a chord, we can see that. So this makes this triangle ACB an isosceles triangle. Please remember that beta. ये given नहीं होगा, ये mark नहीं होगा. You should know these properties, then the question would be 1 plus 1 for you. ठीक है? So if this is an isosceles triangle, so beta इनके जो opposite angles होंगे, opposite to equal sides, they are equal. So इस side का opposite angle is F. So it would be automatically equal to the opposite angle of this. So this angle will also be F, right? Let's erase this chord. ठीक है? Chord word. चलो. So the opposite angle to the equal side would also be F, right? The two opposite angles which are opposite to the equal sides. Clarity beta? इसमें कोई doubt? चलो. Just simply add them because ACB is a triangle और बेटा triangle के interior angles का sum is 180. So F plus F plus 80 is equal to 180. Clarity beta, simple. आगे it's 1 plus 1, so this is 2f. 80 beta उधर जाके subtract हो जाएगा, so this is 100, right? So f is 50 degrees. f is what? 50 degrees. इसमें को डाउट किसी को? क्लैरिटी? ठीक है, अच्छा अब जरा मुझे बताओ, हाउ वुड यू फाइंड g? हाँ जी बेटा, एनीवन, हाउ वुड यू फाइंड g? बेटा, वी नो दैट the first property of tangents, that the radius, because OA is a radius, OC is a radius, that the radius makes an angle of 90 degree with the point of contact, or you can say at the point of tangency, the point of contact with the tangent. So radius always makes an angle of 90 degrees at the point of contact with the tangent. इसमें को doubt किसी को? So again, because center mark था, look for the radius, look for the property. Clarity beta? So if this is 90, so beta that means angle G plus F is equal to 90 degrees. इसमें को doubt किसी को? Right? The radius makes an angle of 90 degree at the point of contact with the tangent. So complete angle is 90. Chalo. So we've already got the value of F, which is 50. Just plug in the value. और बेटा G की वैल्यू क्या आ गई? 50 उधर जाके माइनस हो जाएगा, इट सब्ट्रैक्ट हो जाएगा. सो 90 minus 50 is what? So beta, angle G is 40 degrees. It was so easy. You just have to apply the properties. Clarity beta? Okay beta, let's take a look at this question, right? So once again beta, the thing to observe is there are two tangents drawn from an external point. The first thing is beta, mark that these two tangents are equal. So BC is equal to DC. इसमें को doubt beta? Clarity? And then the third property beta, we can see that the chord at the point of contact with the tangent, because there is no center given, beta center mark नहीं है, so we cannot consider any line to be radius, right? Unless and until beta center mark नहीं होगा, we cannot say this line is a radius. Or clarity beta? चलो. So DB is a chord, and at the point of contact with the tangent, it's making an angle of 70 degrees, right beta? Chalo. So property number 3, this angle which the chord makes with the tangent, right beta? The same chord which the angle it extends on the opposite segment, in the alternate segment, this angle will also be 70. इसमें को doubt beta? By the third property, right? The same chord beta, right? The same chord, ठीक है, from the two point of contacts on the circle, it extends the same angle on the circumference which it makes with the tangent. ठीक है, clarity, we have already discussed this property. These two angles will be the same, ठीक है, and we call this angles in the alternate segment as well. Clarity बेटा? ठीक हो गया? चलो. So एक एंगल तो बेटा आपने मार्क कर लिया. What about now the other angles? How can you find H now? ठीक है, H मुझे बताओ. It's again very simple beta. We can see ADB is an isosceles triangle. Sides are marked. So equal sides के opposite angles are equal. This is 70. So this angle will also be 70. Right beta? So angle H evaluate हो गया. 70 plus 70 plus H is equal to 180. Interior angles का sum of a triangle is always 180. बेटा very simple. ये तो आप evaluate कर लो. 140 उधर जाके subtract हो गया बेटा. So H की value आपके पास आ गई 40 degrees. इसमें कोई doubt किसी को? हाँ जी. Any questions in this? ठीक हो गया बेटा? Okay. अब जरा मुझे बताओ, how would you find this angle I? How would you find this angle I? ये जरा मुझे बताओ. Once again, beta वही बात, two tangents are drawn from the same external point. So this makes this triangle BDC also isosceles. So beta equal sides के opposite angles, they're also equal. So this angle will also be 70 degrees. Right beta? So angle IB क्या हो जाएगा? 70 plus 70 plus I is equal to 180. सो बेटा 140 प्लस आई इज इक्वल टू 180, तो एंगल आई भी बेटा कितना हो गया 180, 140 जाके बेटा सब्ट्रैक्ट हो जाएगा, एंगल आई विल ऑल्सो बी इक्वल टू 40 डिग्रीज। क्लैरिटी बेटा? एनी क्वेश्चंस? वेरी सिंपल if you just apply the properties, right? Okay beta, let's take a look at this question. Again, a very good, very interesting question. Acha beta, as I've been already telling you beta, properties की application है, properties की application है, nothing more. ठीक है? Automatically if you know the properties, the question will make sense. चलो, property number 2, I think because two tangents are drawn from an external point, so beta RQ and PQ are equal in length. That makes this triangle PRQ an isosceles triangle. Okay, ठीक हो गया. No center given. ठीक है, center नहीं mark. Property number 1 out of question, right? That the radius makes an angle of 90 degree with the tangent at the point of tangency, at the point of contact with the tangent. So center is not given, radius नहीं draw होगा. Property number 1 out of question. ठीक. Property number 3 भी जरा check कर लेते हैं. So we have got two chords. One is RS, this is one chord, and there is another chord PS, जो contact beta बना रहे हैं with the tangent, and there is another chord PR also, right beta? But I think more interestingly the chord PS, I am more interested in this chord. Why beta? Again property number 3, the chord makes an angle with the tangent at the point of contact. So this angle is 32 degrees. The same chord beta, the same chord when it makes the two end points of the chord are S and P, right? The same chord when it makes an angle on the opposite segment at the circumference. So this angle would be equal to this angle. This angle will be equal to this angle, right? Property number 3 beta. Right? The chord at the point of contact with the tangent, it makes the angle, it will be the same which the chord extends, the same chord extends in the opposite segment, right? At the circumference. So beta, if this is 32, angle R will also be equal to 32. इसमें कोई doubt beta किसी को? Right? And you can just write angles in the opposite segments are equal. You can just if an examiner asks you for the reasoning as well, beta, you should be able to write the reason. Okay, with this property we are solving this. Isme koi doubt? Clarity beta? Chalo, we have got this angle. So again isosceles triangle beta, we have to find angle N now, and it's pretty simple. Now we take the chord PR, right beta? So this chord makes an angle of 40 plus 32, 72 degrees with the tangent, right beta? So this complete angle, ये जो मैं white से mark कर देता हूँ, the chord with the tangent, this will also be 72, right beta? Because we are taking the triangle PRQ. Now this is an isosceles triangle because of the two tangents, right? So if this is 72, angle R will also be 72. So 72 plus 72 plus N is equal to 180. इसमें कोई doubt बेटा किसी को? Any questions? चलो, so ये बेटा add कर दो, 144 plus N is equal to 180. So बेटा 144 उधर जाके subtract हो जाएगा. So what is angle N जरा मुझे बताओ? 36 degrees, right बेटा? So it was so simple. If you apply the proper properties beta, it's 1 plus 1, right? I hope beta you've enjoyed the video. Any questions, any ambiguities, any confusions, beta please do tell me, right?